Yeah, glitch the guarantee. E&E. Put your boy shit. Glitch, nigga. Shit, I'm about to flood the streets like when the levees break. Criminal minds, my Garcia can navigate. Flowing while I'm blowing this gas. Nigga, no brakes. Niggas not seeing me ever. I mean, no dates. Fuck around and end up gone. You get in this place. E&E, the shit that I claim. You dealing with grace. Took over the game by storm like Rain's mixtape. Thankfully, I been up to smoke like my mixtape. Counting cheddar shit, I'm about to make a grilled cheese. Niggas be faker than bad bitches with good weeds. On my John Wick shit like Keanu Reeves. Replacements won't be enough, you need the whole team. I've been a G since I could finish my ABCs. Kept it a buck so real niggas look up to me. This butcher boy shit get crazy when it's sick of me. I'm coughing out these dope bars till they sick of me.
Can't get rid of me, still can't find a remedy. Still blowing palmers, info cups of Hennessy. E&E, we own our shit independently. When I go out on a limb, I take extremities. I can see right through on transparency. Hurt their self-esteem low, insecurities. Now or never, like glitch the guarantee. What's the recipe? King L's Reflection 3. All these chapters in my life, you can turn the page. Books can't tell you my story, gotta live a day. Glitch got my back, yeah, you can copy that. Man, we control the seat, you can copy that. Leave your whole state red like Republicans. Putting fire on the track, now it's bubbling. Butcher boys, E&E, you in trouble, kid. Add first 100 mil, you can double it.
Let's go, let's go. All the hustles getting money, let it show. Let it show. Automatic nigga, how we get the dough. Get the dough. If it ain't paper, then we probably gotta go. Gotta go. Butcher boy shit, nigga, let's go. Let's go. All the hustles getting money, let it show. Let it show. It's automatic nigga, how we get the dough. Get the dough. If it ain't paper, then we probably gotta go. Gotta go. Butcher boy shit, nigga, let's go.
Blow sick, corona, jealous in the motherfucker. Can't even take a step, that's how far I trust you. This black boy turned to shining king under pressure. West side fat jacks, I took more to measure. Shave the extras, that's business, starter fees. Street blues, what I talk, royal blood flowing free. Power on my mind, no say gang is kind. Read between the lines, it was in my eye. If they ain't got real lines, it ain't hard to spot a counterfeit. Undefeated, ultra real, Fern Gully Mountain shit. Couple hot shots, turn on the frozen margaritas. Even better when it's served with some flawless features. Next year they gotta pay for these flawless features. Flawless victories from the flaws that they teach us. Now my flow imitate how I board the plane non-stop. The little J gon' take over with my time side.
Yeah, I get right to it. My nigga, we beg your pardon. We putting niggas back in boxes. Yeah, they be harder. My flow be retarded. Sick, I need hella help. My groove came back. This must be how Stella felt. We just started kicking it like a yellow belt. We all made it to the pros. This is how LaMelo felt. You better yell out help. Here comes the double team. You catch me in the spot, then you know that the boy is clean. The Louis V look lean with the magazine. So if you try it, you get shot, no vaccine. If you was asleep before I came, then I'm the caffeine. I pull the jokers out the deck, yeah, there ain't no laughing. In CEO fashion, we sticking to the business. Wouldn't even let a vegan knock me off my chicken. Something about the BBS when the sun is hitting. Should be flashing like the lights when you getting
Let's go, let's go. All the hustles getting money, let it show. Let it show. It's automatic, nigga, how we get the dough. Get the dough. If it ain't paper, then we probably gotta go. Gotta go. Butcher boy shit, nigga, let's go. Let's go. All the hustles getting money, let it show. Let it show. It's automatic, nigga, how we get the dough. Get the dough. If it ain't paper, then we probably gotta go. Gotta go. Butcher boy shit, nigga, let's go.
Friday afternoon, 93 degrees in my feet. We gonna talk about it, man.
Yeah.
New York City is paying them.
Guarantee.
Where they gonna go? 40,000 plus people, where they gonna go?
2020 got me seeing so clear.
4 bands to go. Different places.
Butcher boy shit. Lost and glitch. You cool, nigga. This is
Boogie Major.
We on the rise now. Middle fingers in the sky now. Roller haze, so we high now. How we ride now? All coops with the top down. And we listen in the top down. Trees got a whole pound. Real G's when we come round. Niggas know how it's going down. Yeah, we on the up, bitch. Real shit you should fuck with. E&E, throw it up shit.
And we stay ballin', like we sponsored by Spalding. Ball looking for the fall-in, soldiers all fall in. And we go all in, while we listening to all in. While you all talking, we smoking and coughing. Till we land in the coffin, glitching, nauseous. Yeah, stepping out office. Yeah, it is that bullshit. Kill him in vain, it's vanity.
Yeah.
Do it again, it's insanity.
Yeah.
Nauseous a real vigilante.
Sick.
Killing these kids is plan B.
Sick.
Hood is too hot with an antifreeze.
Yeah.
Blowing on leaves in these planted trees. Don't break the code, that's family.
Okay.
We cutting off legs like amputees. My flow is classic, antique.
Yeah.
Freaking the beat is it Japanese.
Yeah.
Ever our cook is a masterpiece.
Yeah.
When money talkers, we Guapanese. Fire and flame mixed with gasoline.
Sick.
Passing my sons, that's a legacy.
Sick.
Study the gang, now they testing me.
Yeah.
They dropped the ball, man, that's incomplete.
Let's go.
Beat 'em so bad, make 'em retreat.
Yeah.
All of these gems you can retweet.
Yeah.
Play with your boys on repeat. You pay the price with your receipt.
Yeah.
Below $1 million, flipping it.
Okay.
Everyday noise get sickening.
Sick.
Trying to flip bills to trillions.
Sick.
Turning these good girls to villains.
Sick.
Lyrics is sick. Butcher with shit. Any clip what we represent.
Yeah.
Put it on wax like a candlestick.
Yeah.
We moving units and measurements.
Okay.
Cooking it up in the lab.
Yeah.
We just performing experiments.
Yeah.
Since I'm the bomb atomic,
Bang.
these rappers out of my
We on the
element.
rise now, middle fingers in the sky now. Roller haze, so we high now. How we ride now? All coops with the top down. And we listen in the top down. Trees got a whole pound. Real G's when we come round. Niggas know how it's going down. Yeah, we on the up, bitch. Real shit you should fuck with. E&E, throw it up shit.
And we stay
Yeah.
ballin', like we sponsored by Spalding. Ball looking for the fall-in, soldiers all fall in. And we go all in, while we listening to all in. While you all talking, we smoking and coughing. Till we land in the coffin, glitching, nauseous.
Yeah.
Yeah, stepping out office. Yeah, it is that bullshit.
Glitch, nigga. Perfected my flow. If I'm on the track, then you know it's a go. The guarantee, nigga, and I guarantee treat the gas like the Clippers. You know I'm a choke. Only exotic when blowing the smoke. No one ahead of me. I got the recipe. Do this shit easily. This is my destiny. Sick throwing lobs. I'm dunking on everything. Niggas is sick, and I got the remedy. What I prescribe is extra artillery. Get in my zone and start going berserk. I'm feeling like Clay when he went off for 60. With the bullshit, swear to God you can miss me. Best friends with the money, Aaliyah and Missy. I come from the bottom, to try me is risky. Throwing this K like that bitch is a frisbee. Real talk, let me lock in, show these niggas what I do. Axe brain, I be standing next to players too. Front line shit, nigga, I'm the fucking truth. Top 6 ever of the 5 in my group. Niggas still bang top down in the coop. Put your boy up and we coming for the loot. E&E shit, we the best, yeah, it's true. This the guarantee, nigga, this is what I do.
Yeah. Everybody get I still walk with her. You dig? Yeah. Y'all already know what it is, man. It's your brother Virgil Bear, aka Snap the Facts. We are here on this beautiful Saturday afternoon. How you doing? What's going on with you? All right? Y'all see the title of the show. What y'all know about it? First they was giving them money to come. Now they giving them money to go. All right? Hey man, shout out to my brother Red Supreme T1. Hey man, this situation, man, is crazy, man. It's absolutely insane. You know? And like I always say concerning this situation specifically, man, what about us? Where's the money for us? Four bands to leave. All right. This is absolutely crazy, man. Absolutely insane, man. Josiah, what's good with you, baby?
All right, a new pilot program from the city awarding up to $4,000 grants to migrant families who exit the shelter system and find their own housing.
Fox 8's Jessica Formoso takes a closer look at how the program works and if it's working so far.
A shelter is an emergency solution that is intended for the short term. It is important that that short-term solution is safe and healthy, and that we are providing families with an opportunity to get back on their feet.
The New York City Department of Homeless Services is offering up to $4,000 to migrant families with children and pregnant women who are currently residing in a city shelter. It's called the Asylum Move Out Assistance Program, a pilot program that began last December, helping asylum seekers transition from a shelter to permanent housing. So far, 150 families have benefited from the program.
We've done 150 families starting about 7 months ago. I think we've had one person from a family, not even the whole family, come back. So that is, in my mind, a very strong success rate thus far.
The one-time grant is modeled after the enhanced one-shot deal program for those in the traditional homeless shelters, only to be used for first and last month's rent, security deposits, moving expenses, and household supplies.
It really is for documented expenses related to permanent housing. So that could be first and last month's rent. It could be moving expenses, household supplies, things that somebody who is brand new to the country, brand new to permanent housing might not have. But the shelter providers are really looking at documentation.
The money is coming from DHS' existing budget. Since the program is only a pilot, it is not offered at every migrant shelter, but only at 62 sites for now. The families themselves have to find housing, and once they do, they work with the not-for-profit providers operating at the shelters who help them with the process.
It makes financial sense because shelter is very expensive, and this is a targeted one-time payment.
It would be a great support to be able to have our own space, to be able to socialize directly with our families. The children suffer the most being bounced around, just no stability. In Midtown.
Peep what she just said, y'all. I'm gonna rewind it and peep what she said.
Shelter is very expensive, and this is a targeted one-time payment.
It would be a great support to be able to have our own space, to be able to socialize directly with our families.
Our own space, so we can socialize with our own families.
Be a great support to be able to have our own space, to be able to socialize directly with our families. The children suffer the most being bounced around, just no stability. In Midtown, I'm Jessica Formoso, Fox 5 News.
Right? It's crazy, right? Exactly. They couldn't make America a third world, so they bring the third world to America. And that's exactly what's going on. So in essence, turning us into a third world country, right? Now, this is all strategically being done, right? This is all strategically being done, right? And like I said earlier on my Brother Red show, man, this is a part of globalization. Y'all got to understand what's actually going on and to what ends. You know what I'm saying? Because what's happening in front of our eyes is we are watching the destruction of American society, but as along with that, we're watching the forming with the destruction of American society, sovereignty as we know it. We're going to see the rise of global sovereignty. That's why all the destabilization is going on all around the world right now. And here in America, how can I say it, man? The countries where all these people was coming from, they can't house us. That's why I say we can't go nowhere else in the country and get the same treatment that everybody else can come here and get. There will literally be nowhere for us to go if we was to all be expatriated to Brazil. Brazil's mostly jungles, and the cities are already overcrowded and populated. Everywhere else, it just wouldn't be able to house us. Right? That's just what it boils down to on a simple status. But America has massive room, and it's being restructured infrastructurally to be able to handle massive amounts of people. This is why they bring in all these people from around Central America, South America, Caribbean, and other places to America, because these regions of the world where all these people come from have other purposes and means within the new establishing of the new global structure and system. You know, you have to understand that. You know, you got to be able to understand the end game with all of this stuff, man. And it's bigger than just, it's bigger than what we being made to think it is, right? This is crazy, man. Absolutely insane, man. All right.
What happens if they kick you out of here?
I don't know, because I don't have a family here and I'm alone with my baby. And the father, he knows I'm pregnant and he's leaving.
A spokesperson for the mayor's office
The mayor said he didn't want to do it, but our shelter system is now so crowded, even families are getting kicked out. And although tens of thousands of people will soon be homeless, the city says it's got no choice but to evict them.
Hey, shout out to this dude right here, man, Cash Jordan, man. I rock with Cash Jordan because how he covering this in New York. You know what I'm saying? And like I say, man, we the new media, man. You know? We the people, the new media. Let's go.
New York City now has permission to start bringing down the number of people at shelters by imposing a 60-day limit.
All right, that move impacts thousands of migrant families staying at these facilities, including the controversial one on Randall's Island.
The city says that many of these migrants are able to find a new place to live, whether that's with family or friends. The advocates say they are very concerned that this will lead to an uptick in street homelessness.
Do you have any family here?
No,
I'd be alone. So you'd be by yourself?
Yeah.
She got.
It's difficult for me because my baby is too little.
The number of asylum seekers being housed is shrinking. City Hall says limits on shelter stays are being strongly enforced.
I don't call them eviction notices. I call them time limits.
It's not financially sustainable, and it's just not the right thing.
Pay attention to that word, sustainable, y'all.
People should not be in shelters their entire lives.
The move comes after officials promised to crack down on illegal tent encampments in Randall's Island Park, many set up by migrants whose time at the city-run shelter has expired.
Shelters have always been designed to be a temporary stopgap until families can get on their feet. But without inclusive and supportive housing solutions, our shelter system will remain overburdened and our families will continue to fall through the cracks.
Right. Now pay attention, y'all. Think about this. Y'all always hear me talk about assigned housing, stack 'em, pack 'em housing, mega structures. And I talk about this stuff because this is what's coming. This is why all of this is being done. They want to bring the workforce to America. Where most of the manufacturing in this global system that's coming in is going to be done. Why you think there's so many warehouses being built? Look what's happening to the logistics industry in our country. Look at how they're restructuring the freeway and highway systems all throughout America, specifically in the Midwestern corridor. You have to understand what's happening, man. It's the reason why all these people from all over the world, mostly from Central and South America, are being brought here. And on the surface is to disrupt the political structure, because that is just part of this old system in America. And in order for America to be implemented into the new system, it has to get rid of the old one. This is why they're putting them in our neighborhoods, in our cities, Springfield City, Chicago, LA, New York, Colorado, Aurora, Denver, Atlanta, all over. It's to destroy our sense of nationalism, because we're being inducted to a global society. Why y'all think, I mean, it's, you know, it's clear as day as what's happening, but we so disillusioned by the political process, which is going away too. What good is the American Constitution when America is a part of a global system? The Constitution will be defunct and null and void at that point. So I think we need to focus on the bigger issue, which is our illusion of being American sovereign citizens, when in all actuality, over the past 100 years, the people who we've elected to run this company, corporation, that we think is a country, and they done inducted us into a global system with trickery through the political structuring system. And now here we are today, about to vote between two people who are bought and paid for by this very global system. It is what it is, man. Smash that like button, click on the bell, subscribe to the page, man. Let's go.
So the same families invited into the New York City shelter system are now being invited to leave. But even though the city has spent over $5 billion on housing since
$5 billion. Why not spend that $5 billion on letting these countries fix themselves, and spend that $5 billion on getting our homeless people, citizens, off the streets into these transitional homes? You got to ask yourself, really, why is this being done? And on the surface, you can say, well, it's political. No, man. Y'all got to understand it's a bigger game at play here, right? And it has to be shown that this is going on in the huge cities first, so the trickle-down effect to cities like, say, Springfield won't be as intense. As we sit here and see our way of life just being depleted in front of our eyes. And it's the reason why it's happening. Let's go, man.
Since this crisis began, what these forced evictions of families tell us is that absolutely zero people have benefited from this humanitarian crisis, except whoever got the $5 billion. Yet as bus after bus from the southern border arrived in New York, we heard from many of our elected officials how great the asylum crisis would be for everyone involved. We were told people fleeing poverty would have fantastic new lives here in America. We were told new workers were on their way, which would benefit local businesses facing employee shortages. And we were told that New York City would thrive and flourish like never before as we welcomed in the next generation of New Yorkers. But none of that has turned out to be true, and everyone has been lied to about this asylum crisis, including the very people it's named after. Because all those jobs we were told awaited the 212,000 people who've come through New York seeking asylum never.
212,000 people, so double that, right?
materialized. And if you visit any shelter in town, you'll see the sad results of mass unemployment that still plague many asylum seekers who were promised a better future. Yet even those with work authorization can't get meaningful jobs in New York City's economy that would allow them to rent $5,000 apartments. And sadly, many folks now find themselves stuck permanently at the bottom of the city's economy. Which brings us to the real reason why the city is now evicting everyone from its shelters, including families with children, because the asylum crisis has backfired, not just on the people who are now homeless, but also on the city itself. Because although everyone getting evicted from these shelters moved in with the best of intentions, New York was not able to deliver on them. And the city has been stuck providing perpetual assistance to 50,000 families on a monthly basis for over a year. But because of this controversial new eviction plan, luxury hotels like the one down the street here are going to be cleared out in just a few weeks.
They're giving these people 4 bands. Hey, y'all gotta peep the play, man. Y'all gotta be able to see what's going on. These are not American citizens getting money that we go to work for every day and pay taxes with. All the time, whole time, we got a very, very disturbing amount of homeless people who actually are American citizens. That this money could be going to help. These people don't even want to work at the low-paying jobs. And it's not that they don't want to work at the low-paying jobs, but when you live in a city like New York, it don't matter if you got 4 people living in a house making $10 an hour, $12 an hour. They ain't gonna be able to afford no $5,000 a month for rent, $3,000 a month for rent. Y'all have to understand where this is all going to. This is leading to assigned employment, assigned housing, universal basic income, the things that Elon Musk and all these guys be talking about. These big corporations, they want to use all these incoming illegal immigrants made global citizens is what it's going to be. This is why they're destroying our country in the way they are, because we're being inducted into a global system. So all these people coming from all over the world, they won't be American citizens. They'll be global citizens living in what used to be America. Exactly. That's as plain and simple as it get. That's as basic as it get. Basically, they're giving our hard-earned money to these people who ain't did nothing to contribute to making it. The whole time we have a very, like I said, disturbing amount of homeless people in America. Disturbing. Who this money could very much well help. I know I could use $12,000 in food stamps and $9,000 in cash. I know I could use that right now, as I'm sure most of y'all could too. Right? But y'all have to be able to, and this is why I talk about the stuff I talk about over here, is because our system, our country is being done the way it is being done purposely. Like I said earlier on Red, so this is not bad policy. You feel me? It's like I said, it's a direct result of the bad policy that has been put in place. But you know, the bad policy is something that's being done intentionally. And you got to ask yourself, well, why do they want to? Because they want to get rid of our sense of nationalism. We have to get, they have to get us used to our, they have to get us used to the new way of living. You walk around, now you always have homeless in New York City. Even in scriptures, the Most High says, you will have the poor with you always. Huh? But homelessness has always been a thing in cities like New York, but never to the level of what it is now, to where you have whole entire streets, neighborhoods, and all throughout New York City with people just living outside. It's about to get cold here soon. And think about what they're doing. They're giving these people $4,000 to leave these shelters. This is going to be an incentive for them to take their money that they're getting and not only leave the shelter, but leave the city of New York entirely, because they can't afford to live there. We're talking about in New York, they're talking about giving these people money. They're illegal. They're illegals. They are illegal immigrants. They're not migrants. Migrants are people who move from a foreign country to another foreign country for a period of time for work. And at that period of time, when it's over, the work, they return back to their country of origin. See, an immigrant is a person who does just the opposite. And the illegal immigrant is ones who does that illegally, meaning that they illegally got inside the country. When you are an immigrant, you come from another country to move to another country permanently. No intentions on going back. Do y'all really think any of these people from Venezuela, Colombia, Bolivia, Costa Rica, Panama, Belize, El Salvador, Argentina, Chile, do you think they have any intentions on going back? Those countries, like Donald Trump said, they're shithole countries. That wasn't disrespectful. It wasn't racist. It's true. Case in point, you got a country like Brazil. Brazil produces some of the, now we ain't gonna say Brazil, Chile. We got Chile produces some of the best produce on earth, and they can barely afford to keep some of their citizens fed. Same thing in countries like Venezuela. Venezuela has the largest oil deposits outside of Iraq and the United States, these United States, but their people are living in utter squalor. See, Chavez, man, he was about to nationalize the oil industry. Or did over there in Libya. You know, and they got Chavez up out of there in Venezuela, and they put their boy Maduro in. Right? And in exchange for his seat of power in Venezuela, Maduro is doing what he's doing down there in Venezuela, letting all his big corporate buddies come in, suck up all the natural resources, pay the people shit money. Right? And now you have Venezuela in the state of the end, all part of the plan to send these people up here, and the global structure just use Venezuela for its oil as an energy source. That is what is happening, y'all. Globalization. They even started to say these words and put them in the lexicon through the media. You start hearing these words: sustainability, globalization. Right? What's another word you keep hearing? Let's see, globalization, sustainability. Oh, resilience. Pay attention to these words, man. Right? And I keep telling y'all what's planned for America, man. Let's go.
So this building right here, it's the Row Hotel, a former luxury hotel right here in Manhattan by Times Square. It's got about 1,000 rooms, and cleared out might be the wrong word to use with respect to what's going to happen here, because hundreds of people a week still come to New York City. But that's the problem, because in order to make room for them, the city has to kick out the people it's currently housing, and now that includes families. And for a very long time, the city did everything in its power to avoid having to do this. But critics say this is going to be a gigantic I told you so moment for the asylum crisis in an election year.
This new rule will soon apply to about 30,000 parents and children who are living in shelters all throughout New York City. Now, the city says by no means is this them just kicking migrants out without a plan. They say they will be working with these families up until those 60 days to figure out next plans for them.
So, as you're about to see, this is proof to some that the entire asylum crisis has failed. Because not only is it now making people...
Why aren't they doing that with our homeless citizens? Why are these companies not paying even illegals a living wage? Like I keep saying, y'all have to peep the play. What's going on? Universal basic income. This is why they messing up our job market in the country like that. It's a tool being used to introduce universal basic income, as well as assigned housing, assigned employment. Right? They want to tell us Americans that we lazy because we don't want to work at these shit jobs where we can't even make enough money to provide a living for ourselves and our families for the most part. Right? And it's cool if you live somewhere like Springfield, Ohio, right? But look at the economy in Springfield, Ohio. Shit. So what are you going to do when you have a city of 60,000 dumped with another 30, 40,000 people that don't speak the language, ain't from the country, don't know how to, I mean, where are they going to work? Think about that, y'all. Where are these people going to work? How are they going to provide a living for themselves? How are they going to be able to afford to pay rent? Exactly. We're seeing where it's going to now. Y'all see where it's going to the illegals.
People homeless, these are the same folks we were told would always be taken care of, and we were told wouldn't need to be cared for forever because they were going to come here and get jobs and plug right into the city's economy. But as you can tell from the piles of unused delivery bikes in front of pretty much every shelter in town, that hasn't exactly happened. And to understand how hard this failure is hitting families, you've got to realize that the sudden approval of this new eviction plan is a real shock to folks who haven't just been living in shelters like the Row Hotel or the Roosevelt Hotel for over a year. No, they didn't just move in. They moved in and met with an army of city officials and humanitarian activists that promised them that they were going to be completely taken care of and that their best days were ahead of them. But now we know that's not true. Yet ever since this crisis started, when folks get off a bus at the bus terminal, they are ushered over to the Roosevelt Hotel, which is another luxury facility doubling as both a shelter and a welcome center where asylees can immediately meet with caseworkers to file their asylum paperwork, request work authorization, and get a shelter placement. Yet it now appears that after getting people moved into a shelter and their kids placed in school, all of the help kind of stopped. There was a lot of help on day one, but on subsequent days, people have just kind of been in limbo, waiting in these facilities for things to happen, like job placements, for example. And when we now look at the fact that thousands of people will soon be evicted, losing their shelter placements, many critics say that by doing this, the city unknowingly created a 65,000 strong shelter population who've been trapped in these places with no way out ever since they arrived. While at the exact same time, humanitarians are now saying that the rug is being pulled out from underneath their feet.
Now, immigration advocates say this change does little to help migrant families and that it will be leaving them scrambling to find a new place to stay, especially as the new school year starts. But the city says steps like this one are necessary.
So these advocates, they are 100% correct. These new sudden changes, they're not helping anyone.
Right? Where are they going to go? Where are they going to go, man? And when they get there, how are they going to be able to afford to pay that rent? That 4 bands is only for first and last month rent security deposit type situation. Where are they going to work at to be able to afford to be paying $2,000+ a month for rent? Right? You got people in New York sleeping outside, man. In tent cities, big tent communities, man. Feces everywhere. Y'all understand what this is doing to the physical environment? What type of diseases? You know? Crime is on the rise. At the same time, the Democratic Party been pushing this defunding of the police. At the same time, like I told y'all on Wednesday, implementing the robot. Y'all got to be able to understand how all this stuff is together, man. Got to be able to see how this all fits together. Let's go.
Anybody, but a lot of these people that are upset about this, they're the same folks that have been telling us since day one that the city didn't have enough asylum seekers and that the city had plenty of resources to take care of everybody and that nobody was going to run into the types of situations we're seeing today. And even though New York is one of the largest sanctuary cities in America, it's also one of the most expensive cities in America. And even though it's possible to house people in luxury hotels for over a year now at this point, nobody seems to want to admit that that doesn't really help them get plugged into the city once it's time for them to leave. And even though many say the city's been extremely compassionate, housing so many people for such a very long period of time, this entire crisis has turned out to be nothing more than a gigantic trap for those very same people who were being housed under the impression that things were going to get better in the future, not worse. And even though the city's maintained since the very beginning how great this whole situation was for everyone involved, it hasn't been great for the asylum seekers, which is very strange because from the very beginning, we had some local officials saying that the asylum crisis was actually New York City's answer to its employment and worker shortages. During the events of 2020, many folks left the city and many businesses were unable to operate, closing down permanently. But that's the thing. Those businesses, they're now closed and they're still closed. And the companies that remain, they've adapted to the worker shortages that we've had in record time, reducing their hours, using more automation, using more app-based services so that they don't have to hire full-time workers.
Y'all hear what he said? Did y'all hear what the brother said? See where it's going? This new system that's coming in doesn't require a lot of humans. I want y'all to be able to peep the bigger play, how this is being used to bring in this new system and structure under the disguise of, political rhetoric or political reasons why this stuff is going on. They're setting up the structure right in our face, man. Right in our face. And we still play along with it and participate when we participate in the voting process. especially since we are no longer under the jurisdiction of the Constitution for the United States of America. I've said this to y'all before. It's a big difference between the Constitution for the United States of America and now what we have, the Constitution of the United States of America. Big difference. See how they slowly but surely imposing the new system and structure on us? All this financial calamity in the job sector, low paying wage jobs that you can't afford to provide a living for yourself with, working at these jobs that don't pay a living wage. Notice how there's nowhere to put all these people. At the same time, if you look in New York City specifically and especially, all the new buildings being built in New York City are residential. Isn't that weird how all the buildings being built in major cities are all residential? And these are the same cities that they're sending all these illegals to, talking about some they don't have anywhere to put them, house them. At the same time, disrupting the job market to where companies have to be forced to go automated in order to conduct business. I keep telling y'all about the social credit systems. Y'all have to be able to peep the play and see what's being set up right in our face through political diversion. What you think is going to be the solution to all of this? All right, well, we got literally millions of people from all over the world that have sit here and brought the American population from 300-something million to 500 million. Right? Where are they going to house all these people? Look into the cities where you live at, major cities, if you live in one, Columbus, Ohio, be specific. All the major construction going down in the downtown metropolitan areas is residential. We are about to start watching the emergence of the mega structures. I keep telling y'all this stuff, man. They don't be showing us these movies for no reason. Oh, well, these countries they come from are economically broken down and, politically corrupt and criminally ran, and it's just violent. Okay, we're gonna move everybody to America where everybody is a part of the social credit system, much like what's going on in China right now, and soon to spread to other countries in Asia, Southeast Asia specifically and especially, and Russia, to where the things that you have access to in the world are going to be dependent on how you behave in the society in whatever region of the world you live in. That's why what's going on in our country is going on now, because it's setting up the structure. But America, being the so-called bastion of freedom, sovereignty, we have been ingrained with a sense of nationalism, a sense of patriotism, to where we're America. We're independent. We can pull ourselves up from our bootstraps and start a business, and then they just sit up here and spread this idea that we're a melting pot. And people can come from anywhere in the world. You can come to America and make it happen, but you can't go anywhere else in the world and make it happen. I mean, you can, but it ain't promoted like how it has been for America. There's a reason for that. The reason for that is because they wanted the creme of the crop of all these other countries to come here and be the leaders who want to build this current system that we is about to be inducted into. You already know, man, it's no problem. That's what I'm here to do, Jack. Smash that like button, click on the bell, subscribe to the page, click on that $, man, right there by y'all's comment section, man, and contribute to the show. I'm about to take a trip to Springfield here in the next week or so and go get some raw content for y'all live on the scene. Springfield ain't nothing but 30, 45 minutes away from Columbus. Right? And we're going to go talk to the people. I'm going to go to Schuler's Bakery. I'm going to go get me some pizzas from, now that I'm thinking about it, if I'm not mistaken, one of my people from Springfield told me that Schuler's closed, which is very sad if it is. But I know Casano's Pizza's out there, so I'm going to go out there and get me some Casano and go talk to the people, man. You know? Utterly insane. Happening right up in our face. All right? In Springfield, Ohio. Where are they going to put all these people? These 20, 30,000 illegals. People who aren't American citizens. People who are getting money and all this. They doing that, like I said, they're doing that stuff intentionally, man. What better way to implement all of us into this global system than to purposefully disrupt the economy to the point to where we like the corporations is like, okay, everybody get on a universal basic income. And with the induction of this new social credit system, everybody will be made a global citizen because now we're a global society, and you will be allotted certain things depending on how you behave and your social credit score. Your social credit score is going to determine where you work, where you live, what you have access to. This is what they mean when they talk about UN Agenda 2030 for global sustainability. Sustainability ain't got nothing to do with freedom. Sustainability ain't got nothing to do with freedom. What's the freedom in having an assigned job, an assigned residence to where you live at? What's the freedom in having access to certain things in this society based solely on how you behave in this society? And how are they going to be able to determine how you behave? Surveillance, smart grid, human brain computer interfacing, working from home, where they can monitor your actions and your movements, your behavior, 24/7. Smart homes, telescreens, just like in 1984, man, by George Orwell. This is the structure that we're watching and witnessing being built right in our faces. And they're using the country of America falling in order to bring it in. Because like I said, y'all, we are the last not sovereign, independent country on this planet that could put up a fight against a global structure trying to impose themselves upon us. Unfortunately for us, we got crooked politicians who already sold us out. And as a result of that selling out, we see what's happening now. So, you know, UN Agenda 2030. Let's go.
Jobs that many of these folks were supposed to come here and get either vanished or never existed in the first place. And although everyone was hoping that folks who came here without jobs would get them, it looks like only about 2,000 people have achieved employment so far with the city's help out of the 200,000 people that have come through this city looking for asylum. And that's not a problem we can blame on lack of work authorization, because many of the groups who come here, like folks from Venezuela, they've got something called temporary protected status, which is a humanitarian designation for folks fleeing extreme poverty, and it allows them to apply for work authorization in as little as 30 days. They don't have to wait 180 days like usual. And if you remember, work authorization has been the one thing city leaders have been complaining about this entire time, saying that the more people who have it, the less people who will need to stay in our shelters. But so many people in the shelters have it already, and the employment situation's just not working out, which means the shelter situation has had to become somewhat permanent.
Shelters have always been designed to be a temporary stopgap until families can get on their feet. But without inclusive and supportive housing solutions, our shelter system will remain overburdened, and our families families will continue to...
Right, so if the shelters have always been temporary and that's what they were always supposed to be, where was the plan to help people after their temporary stay expired? Where was that?
That's a good question. There is no plan. Y'all want to know what the plan is? Y'all want to know what the plan is, man? This is the plan right here. I'm about to show you. I want to pull it up on my screen. This is the plan right here. Mega City 1. And these tall buildings y'all see erected over even the highest of skyscrapers, the highest of skyscrapers, these are the mega structures. These are the mega structures. This is where all this is headed. Human settlement zones, mega cities, mega regions, mega structures, universal basic income, assigned housing, assigned employment, social credit systems. This is where all this is headed. Y'all hear me talk about this movie all the time, man, and it's not just because it's one of my favorite movies, but it's what this movie is depicting. It's the society that this movie is depicting is the one that is coming into fruition right now. And the worst part about it is they're tricking us into voting for it. Basically giving them the permission to do it. All right? Giving them the permission to implement us into a global system and structure, which to some degrees we already are. Just not entirely. But this being the most important election, because this election is going to determine, is American society ready for global induction? Meaning, are we ready to be treated like how the rest of the other world be treated? Basically, like my man Blue Devil said earlier, like a third world country. Right? Smash that like button, click on the bell, subscribe to the page, y'all. Man, this is crazy, man.
That plan, where was it? Because I don't see it right now, and if it did exist, it hasn't worked, because many of the folks living in these facilities say they were welcomed into them understanding that their future was going to be better than their present. But at the same time, it looks like there was never a pathway set up to get people from facilities like the one behind me into an actual job where they could begin providing for themselves so that they wouldn't need to live there anymore. Yes, there was plenty of plan to get them inside the shelter and help them apply for asylum, but after that, it's like all the planning stopped. Yet every single week at the bus terminal just down the street here, 700 to 800 to 1,000 people still arrive and need a place to stay. The cycle is perpetuating itself, right, which means these evictions may not be the end of the asylum crisis.
Nowhere near. And they just busting them in. Just a busting them in. All right? I'm going to drop the link for y'all, man. Y'all want to come up and spit your game and talk your ish. Add to the conversation, ask a question, maybe provide some information about the situation with the illegals that we don't know about. You know what I'm saying? Because this is getting out of control, man. And being one who knows where this is all going, man, I gotta speak on it, man. I gotta do what I'm doing, man. You know? He that has an ear, let him hear. I'm going to talk my ish, though, man. Because this is where this is headed to. This is where this is going, y'all. Globalization. All right. The presidential selection, right, is one of the most important in American history. This is going to be one of very few presidential elections that we're going to have in this country anymore. Because when we inducted into a global society, ain't going to be no more president. Y'all better understand what's going on.
So here we are at the Port Authority bus terminal, where many asylum seekers continue arriving in the city on a weekly basis. And these are people who are new in town and are automatically entitled to a shelter placement. But the problem is enough people arrive here every single week that it almost offsets the numbers that are being evicted from the shelters, maintaining a sort of humanitarian crisis equilibrium here.
A spokesperson for the mayor's office confirms there are currently 49,500 migrant families in the city's care. Additionally, between August 12th and the 18th, 700 new migrants arrived to NYC, while 1,200 left the city's care. There's also no way to...
So you've got 1,200 people leaving the shelters, 700 to 800 roughly on the last few weeks coming in. That may change as the months go on. And some of the people who are supposed to leave the shelters and get eviction notices can reapply for an extension or a waiver. But the real problem is in 60 days, the people who arrive at this bus terminal today will be getting eviction notices and they won't have anywhere to go. That's the real problem. And that makes the asylum crisis really more of a humanitarian recycling program that keeps people in a state of poverty from the moment they arrive until the moment they leave. That's not a good system for caring for anybody. But it's even worse for the people involved in this latest round of evictions, because when they got off their bus and moved in, they were not under the impression that they would eventually be kicked out of the shelters, banned from reapplying. And it's not like they moved in 2 months ago, knowing that in 2 months they'd have to move out. No, that wasn't the expectation when they got here, which is why this is so sudden and so shocking. And even though all of this care and housing was provided to people in the name of compassion, the city has run out of resources. And now what we're showing, or what we're giving people rather, is the opposite of compassion. And to the people who've been screaming for months that compassion without resources is futile on the part of the city, this is a gigantic I told you so moment. And now the question that nobody has a good answer to is, where are these people who have no resources and came from halfway across the world gonna wind up?
There's also no way to tell how many of those migrants left for other cities or how many of them are now out on the street. What happens if they kick you out of here?
I don't know, because I don't have a family here and I'm alone with my baby.
This is really sad. Here we've got somebody who's unable to work because they've got little kids and can't find childcare. They need the shelter system to take care of them, as it's been doing for quite some time. But how has the shelter system benefited her? Because yes, she moved in, but it didn't do the thing shelters are supposed to do, which is to help people get out of them on their own 2 feet. That was not accomplished here. And this creates a situation where you have people asking how that was ever going to be accomplished, because in New York, you need to make about $100,000 a year just to experience $36,000 a year worth of spending power after.
You got to make 100 bands a year just to experience 36 bands worth of buying power in New York City. So to think that the people who are in charge of all of this don't know that this is going to be the result, or didn't know that this is going to be the result, it's just crazy to think that. This is all part of the plan. All part of the plan, man. It's all part of the plan. What plan is that, y'all? Globalization. That's why they're bringing so many people from so many places around the world, so many different ethnicities and cultures. Nobody has a sense of nationalism, right? And the ones that do, coming from their countries, it's ill celebrated, because you're running from this country, you're seeking asylum away from this country, but yet you want to hold up this country's flag and rep it for whatever reason you want to still rep it for. See, that's part of the breaking up of the psyche right there, man. That's part of the indoctrination. That's part of the mind screwing right there. You know what I'm saying? You got pride in this country, but this country is in utter sufferation and devastation. You live in utter squalor in your motherland, but to sit up here and represent the same motherland in another land while getting no resources whatsoever from the motherland, that is a sign of Stockholm syndrome, which we all have been indoctrinated with to some degree. Right? St. Andrew, what's good? It is also a habit of tyrants to prefer the company of aliens to that of citizens at table and in society. Citizens, they feel, are enemies, but aliens will do their bidding. That's a fact. And for all people in history that ever said that to be Aristotle is crazy. Right? This is why they came up with HR 1955. HR 1955 was designed for us, y'all, American citizens. It's not designed for illegals. Although illegals will fall under the jurisdiction of it, but it wasn't designed for them. It was designed for us, American citizens, to turn us into homegrown terrorists. That will give them the reason to implement all the things they're implementing on us. That's why they'll be justified legally. Understand the play. Let's go.
After paying your rent. This is not a city where people are able to survive on very low levels of income. Yet that's exactly what the city has expected of the folks who it moved into its shelter system to do. But here's where things get really unfortunate. Look at this. Half the families who get 60-day eviction notices from the shelter leave and do not come back. The city has no idea where they go, which means they could be anywhere. It's also worth mentioning that the city has similar data for single adults who get evicted, and now we know that they're building tent encampments all over the city because they have nowhere to go, leaving many to ask, how would families in the same situation end up any different? But the reason no one's interested in getting real answers to those questions is because if we find out that families are living on the street or living in very dangerous situations, it's going to make the $5 billion that has been earned by private companies look like a total waste of money and look very unjust. Because it would mean that the entire asylum industrial complex is built on human suffering. But the real problem here isn't that you have for-profit companies making millions, billions of dollars off of this. No, and it's also not our mayor who's taking most of the blame for this crisis. No, it's something else entirely.
I can't stop buses coming in. Federal law doesn't allow me to do that. City law tells me I have to feed them 3 meals a day, house them, educate 40,000 children. City law also states that I cannot have them removed when they commit a crime. I can't break the law to fulfill the law. We need to look at...
Yeah, the real reason this is all happening is because it's the law and there's no way around it, and it doesn't matter who the mayor is. They have to obey the law. But the problem is our laws are now creating homeless people, and it's costing a ton of money to do it, and these are the same people that were promised they would never be homeless when they were moved into these shelters, which is why many people are asking, are these ultimately good laws if they don't accomplish the very thing they're supposed to stop? And you know what else hasn't worked at all during this crisis? This whole idea of universal basic income, because that's essentially what is provided to people during their temporary stay in a shelter. They've got housing, they've got food, they've got clothing, and families even qualify for $1,400 a month prepaid debit cards to help with nutrition assistance. Yet none of that helped people not be homeless at the end of their 60-day stay, or what will soon be a...
So we got all these people in New York just about to be basically evicted, excommunicated, and where are they going to go? That's the question, y'all. Where are all these people going to go? All right. The panel is open for anybody who want to come up. You're more than welcome to. But this, like I said, y'all, this is just crazy, man. And like I always keep saying, this is where it's leading to. This is where it's leading to, man. Mega cities, man. Everybody gonna be crammed into these huge mega structures, man. Living in buildings with 50 to 100,000 people in them. This is what this global system that's coming in. This is their idea of global sustainability. Everybody living on the same playing field, meaning that how you behave in society is going to determine whether you live in peach trees or you live in crab trees. Now, mind you, peach trees in this movie was terrible. It was like the slums, the ghetto. And I would imagine in these mega structures, depending on how you behave in society, they have more luxurious ones. I couldn't imagine living in a building that can house 75,000 people. Right? But in China, right now, in China, all right, which I did a show on this right here, which I know about these big ass buildings they got all over in China. All right, look at the mega structures, man. I keep telling y'all the mega structures are being built all around the world. We got this building right here in China. 30,000 people, 20,000 people live in this building. Can you imagine living in a building? Yeah, can you imagine living in a building where there's 30,000 people living in a building? Now imagine a building where there's 75,000 people living in it. Imagine how big that building must be. Think about the plumbing. What human beings are going to be able to maintenance and keep the maintenance up on such a structure? This is why I keep telling y'all the smart grid is here. You think it's going to be humans maintaining these mega structures? People think I'll be making this stuff up when I talk about mega structures. And I know they're in existence right now. You have buildings all over the world, China, Russia, all over Asia, India, where they're building these huge, I'm talking about 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, 50,000 unit buildings. Where you think this is how they're going to house the let's say the proletariat, right? This is why they're bringing all these people to America. This is why they're bringing illegals all to our country. Get prepared to see the mega structures rise in our country. America, in this new system that's coming in, the structure of this global society is designed to be a hub of manufacturing. Yes, they do, St. Andrew. See, when they passed NAFTA back in the day, all of our industry got outsourced to other countries. And this was done strategically for a reason. See, now the reverse is happening, right? Because all the people of the world, through this outsourcing, listen to what I'm saying to y'all, man. Through all of the outsourcing of these major manufacturing that needed to be done on behalf of these big multinational corporations, all the poor people of the world already have warehouse training. They've been working in factories their whole life. Where you think most of the factories went to? Mexico, South America, Central America, Asia. The very same people who are now flooding our borders to work in the new facilities being built by the corporations. much like this mega structure right here in China. We about to start seeing the rise of the mega structures in America. That's why they're rearranging the freeway system in the way they are. That's why all the new buildings being built in metropolitan areas throughout all of America is residential. So if it costs an arm and a leg to live in downtown Columbus, we're going to flood all these cities with all these people disrupting the economy so the corporations can now massively profit by putting everybody on a universal basic income. And how that universal basic income will increase is depending on how you behave in society. And they've already been beta testing us through social engineering or social media. Do y'all see the play? Social media has been used to not only monitor and surveil us, but to capture in real live time our ability to acquiesce. Because if we become socially unacceptable, we will get a social credit score that's unacceptable, which means we won't have access or be accessible to certain things in society. This is going to determine where we live, where and if we work, if we get a certain level of health care. And this is going to be maximum profits for the corporations because they're going to be in charge of everything and they're not going to have to pay you for your education. They're going to pay you based on how you behave. Why do you think they're doing to the collegiate system what they're doing? It's creating too much debt. So what we're going to do is we're going to replace the system to where not going to college and getting a degree is going to determine financial stability for you, but how you behave and how much you acquiesce to the rules of society is going to determine your success, where you live, how much money you make. And if you don't reach a certain score, or if you're at a certain social credit score, you will at least receive universal basic income. Y'all got to peep the play, man. Being set up right in our face. And as the rest of the world is already being indoctrinated into this system at some extent, some more so than others, here we are, America, last but not least. Right? As the NAFTA superhighway is being built right in our face, and as the mega structure system first generation is being erected, pause, right in our face. It won't be long before we start seeing residential buildings like this emerge in our country, where they're housing 20,000 people, 30,000 people, 40,000 people. And who do you think is going to be maintaining these mega structures? You think it's going to be humans? And just like my man St. Andrew said, nothing would ever work. So now we're talking about free energy. See how everything is connected with y'all's girl Kamala? She's an advocate for free energy that's not really free. How do you think they're going to power a building that houses 30,000 people, 75,000 people? What is going to be the energy source of that building? So y'all got to understand where this stuff is going, Jack. You understand me? Mega structures, man. Can you imagine that, man? Look at this building. Fucking 50-story buildings, 60-story buildings, all residential. Stack them. This is what I'm talking about when I say UN Agenda 2030. Stack them, pack them, housing. Right? Pay attention in your city, man, in your country. This thing is here. Not on the way, it's here. And I don't mean to sound like a bearer of bad news, man, but it's inevitable. There's literally nothing we can do to stop this. Right? Nothing. It's happening one way or the other. And that's why I say, at least if you vote Trump, that's going to give you enough time to, you know, financially get yourself together. So as this new system come in, you won't have to depend on it, which is going to be down there impossible because they're setting up the society right now to where it's fully dependent upon the system. You won't be able to eat. You won't be able to work. You won't be able to buy, sell, or trade, own property. Man, you won't even be able to think. We're watching the society depicted in George Orwell's dystopian novel 1984 come to fruition. And in order for that to happen, all so-called sovereign governments, independent free societies must fall. Can't have a country like America with the level of independent citizen it has to just so willy-nilly fall in line with a global system and structure. As Andrew said, since I was RFK Jr., now Trump. Like I said, at least a vote for Trump is going to give us at least another 4 to 6 years to, you know, try to create a situation where we get some money going. We start linking up, creating lines of communication, linking up, clicking up with each other, and creating the structure. So when this new system comes in, we don't have to be dependent upon it, which is going to prove to be very difficult because if you're not synced and linked to the smart grid, you ain't going to get in. And if you don't want to bow down, acquiesce, fall in line with the ideologies of this new system and structure, you're going to get a bad social credit score. You're going to become persona non grata, which means in Latin Vulgate, one not desired by the state. The true present day model and version and definition of being ostracized. Y'all ever seen the original Judge Dredd with Arnold Schwarzenegger, with Sylvester Stallone in it? And they walked him out to the basically the wasteland, beyond the city's walls. That's what we got going on. That's what I'll be talking about when I talk about the wildlands urban interface. Go watch both of the movies, man. Go watch Judge Dredd, the original one that came out, I want to say in 94, 95. Yep, came out in 1995. Judge Dredd. Go check that movie out. And then after you watch Judge Dredd, go check out the prequel movie that came out in 2012, Dredd. Just straight D-R-E-D-D. The movie is a depiction of a young Judge Dredd, Arnold Schwarzenegger's character in the movie Judge Dredd, of how just a typical day in life and how he ended up becoming Judge Dredd we see back in 95 in that movie with who all played in Judge Dredd? I think Armand Asante, Rob Schneider, Diana Lane. Feel me? Yeah. Go check out both of them. They are very good depictions of the incoming society. Right? I want y'all to ponder on this, man. Just look at this image right here. This isn't Photoshop. This is a close-up of that building. You can see how the floors are spaced apart. They're literally stacked up on top of each other. Right? How big this building is, man. This building is like 40 stories, like 40 stories high. And the World Trade Center towers over this building. The World Trade Center was 100-something stories tall. Right? Right? In the movie Dread, right? Mega City 1. Right? Let me bring this up for y'all. Right? Yeah, I'm gonna just say so long. In 2012, Judge Dredd movie Peachtrees is a 200-story mega block in Mega City 1 that serves as the main setting. The Peachtrees was previously run by 3 gangs, but was taken over by Mama and her clan. Right? Mega City 1 in the movie Dredd is a metropolis with 800 million citizens. Mega City 1, listen to this, y'all. Mega City 1 became an independent city-state after the United States broke up and was granted autonomy within the Union in 2052, right? Imagine living in a building that's 200 stories high. This building housed 75,000 people, right? And when you look at this picture right here of Mega City 1, you can see how the mega structures, mega blocks, these are housing residential buildings. They're the biggest buildings in town. They're 200 stories high. Each one of these buildings can fit 75,000 people in them. You can see what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 mega structures, 11 blocks, mega blocks. Look how they tower over the other buildings. This is what's designed for our future in America. This is what they got for us, y'all. Right? It's going down, y'all, man. My man Maurice Miller in the building was good. St. Andrew said, I'd rather live in a mud hut in the forest. Could you imagine living in a building with 75,000 people housed in this one structure? How would you feel about living on the 200th floor of this building? I said the World Trade Center was 110 stories. Imagine 2 of those stacked on top of each other, all residential. Imagine the plumbing in a building that size. Imagine the ventilation. So when Kamala Harris talks about free energy, what you think is going to be powering, like I say, structures sprawled all across the city that can house up to 75,000 people in them? Yeah, type shit. And this is what all of this stuff is leading to, y'all. Like I say, man, a vote for Trump is going to be a vote for the smart grid, social credit systems, robot army, robot police. It's going to be the same with the Democrats, except open borders, more of what's going on. Trump going to get in there. He going to do business with who he do business with at that level. And for a moment of time, it's going to be the positive trickle-down effect because there's going to be some money. The economy is going to be stimulated. You know what I'm saying? Threaten to send the illegals back. How they keeping track of all the illegals? This is another reason why they will impose on us, and this is mind fuckery, trick us into voting for microchips. What's the word I'm looking for here? I was gonna cut me in a second. Yeah, type stuff. That's why, like I say, that's why they're restructuring the freeway system and the highway systems in the way they are. The way they are restructuring the highway systems, it is not meant for human-driven traffic. A whole bunch of autonomous vehicles riding on the freeway. No more truck drivers, they drive themselves. We just need y'all to work in certain factories and stuff like that. Right? Certain things, machines not going to be able to do that us humans can do. You know? Smash that like button, click on the bell, subscribe to the page, man. We about to get up out of here. Don't nobody want to hit the link. I'm going to drop the link for y'all one more again, man. Anybody want to come on up here and spit their game and talk their ish, I'm going to give you to 140. I said 140. The hour and 40 mark, or 6:45. I'm going to wait to 6:45. Yeah, man. So, you know what I'm saying? I do what I do, y'all, just to put y'all up on game, man. You know what I'm talking about? And put things in perspective. You know what I'm saying? Whoever you decide to vote on, that's you. That's your business. That's, you know. But being your brother and your brother, man, I got to expose the fakery and the fuckery. I absolutely have to. You feel me? When it comes to stuff like this, man. You know? Also, you from Columbus, huh? St. Andrew. Y'all done peeped that. Yep, I done peeped that, how they got that going on over there. Pay attention to the construction going on around your city, man. You did? I want y'all to understand that, man. This is where this stuff is headed. Whether you want to accept it or not, whether you want to believe it or not, this is where it's headed. Right? Anything is just a temporary fix to stave off the inevitable. And yes, participating in the political structure is voting for your own demise. Either way, just not more so a certain way. All right, so you better make sure you choose wisely if you're gonna choose. And then, like I said, you gotta have tangibles. Why would you vote for the Republicans if they ain't talking about giving you nothing? They got the what's the name package they got with Cube and all right. But see, the reason why things is happening, especially with us, because they ain't starting to run out of people from their crab barrel system known as the Divine Nine. Yeah, definitely dangerous because you got to understand what materials it's made out of. You can't just throw a house up in 30 days and think it's going to be functional, man. It takes time to build a decent structure, man, especially for somebody to be living in. Yeah, that's going to be spread across. We got that in Columbus too. Everywhere you go downtown, Franklinton, Short North, Italian District, Brewery District, all you see is the charging port stations for electric vehicles. This is the indoctrination. This is the desensitization. This is perceptually preparing us to be living in these type of societies, much like the society in the movie Dread. So, you know what I mean, man? It is what it is, man. You know, it is what it is, man. Now I want y'all to do y'all's due diligence, man. Go watch this movie Dread. Go research UN Agenda 2030 for global sustainability. Go to my page, subscribe to it. And you can scroll down my live section and you can see where I did a whole series breaking down every sustainable goal of UN Agenda 2030 for global sustainability. Everything we see and happen in the media right now is a result of implementing UN Agenda 2030 for global sustainability. Yup. We ain't got them here in Columbus yet, but they on the way. It's the reason why Google and Intel and even Elon got a factory here in our state, and specifically in my city. Where do you think all them Tesla bots going to be being built at? Right here in Columbus, or should I say New Albany? So, you know, man, don't believe the hype. Do your due diligence. I suggest to all y'all illegals coming here, man, y'all stop looking down y'all noses at us. Stop thinking that y'all somehow better than us. How without us, y'all wouldn't be able to come here and do what y'all do. You know, I think that's just highly, highly disrespectful, man. You know, come to the country to open arms to you, us hardworking taxpayers, fund y'all, financially support y'all, and this is the thanks we get. Got to be more careful, y'all. Well, don't nobody want to come up, man. We're going to ahead and end the show, man. We ain't going to drag this one out. We ain't no need to. Appreciate everybody who came through. You did. Really do. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to keep bringing y'all this raw content. I'm going to keep breaking this damn things down for y'all to the very last compound. You understand me? We have to know what's going on. If we ain't informed about what's going on, man, we ain't going to be able to even see what's happening. You know? What's going on? We ain't going to know, man. We ain't going to know what's happening. We're going to keep participating in this two-party system that was never designed to benefit us. But God damn it, man, I'm telling y'all right now, man, moving forward the next 4 to 5 some odd years, you would be better off with somebody like Trump in there. And the reason why I say that is because at least you're going to be in a situation where you can financially get yourself together. And as this new system comes in, you won't have to depend on it. But keep in mind, it's a social credit system coming in with that. I know it's a lot of things. I just always use China for the example because they got a very successful controlled, or should I say, engineered society. So I know when they start displacing them all over the world, they're gonna be feeling funny too. You did. Smash that like button, click the bell, subscribe to the page. I'm gonna leave y'all with this joint right here, man. You feel me? The show that I have for later on, we're gonna postpone that to this Thursday coming up. You did. Nakia's babysitting her grandchildren right now, so she won't be able to do it anyway. So that's the reason why I did this show, and I'm gonna reschedule the show that we were supposed to be doing tonight for next Thursday. Smash that like button, click the bell, subscribe to the page, sharing social engineering. You know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all continue to support real ones like myself. You know what I'm talking about? Smash that like button, click the bell, subscribe to the page, sharing social engineering. Bless that Cash App. You feel me? Hit that $ in the corner, contribute to the situation. You know, like I said, the mainstream media, man, the lamestream, they ain't gonna break stuff down like this, man. They ain't gonna break things down to the last compound. You did. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all evening, man.
You think darkness is your ally? You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it, molded by it. I didn't see the light until I was already a man. By then there was nothing to me but darkness. Victory has defeated you.
Gotta know your next move when you speak to a book. Gotta respect the dead when you speak on the look. Everybody wanna taste of this end stuff. When stacks got the facts, you don't clear up the floor. Gotta know your next move when you speak to a book. Gotta respect the dead when you speak on the look. Everybody wanna taste of this end stuff. When stacks got the facts, you don't hear nothing fall. I used to be stacks with the packs, now I'm stacks with the facts. Now I drop knowledge, used to cook straight, drop crack. Coronavirus to take over. CW elite record, the wait's over. Right? Don't be addicted to the limelight. Mediocre balls, knowing that y'all don't rhyme right. You fake dope niggas need to get your mind right. Stupid ass niggas are bringing guns to a mind fight. Now let me slow it down so I can talk to you. I'm never letting up. If that's a boss school you. I hypnotize the track like a nigga practice voodoo. Voice of God, Crips and Miss, Tutus and Hooties. The rap game is in the best, I can easily swim through. I'm like the golden fisherman and you rappers are seafood. Grand champion, this bitch, you should call me the seafood. Make sure my energy is up cause the devil's deceitful. And everything that we see and say ain't nothing but a dream inside of another dream. And everything that we see and say ain't nothing but a dream inside of another dream. Gotta know your next move when you speak to a book. Gotta respect the stand when you speak on the law. Everybody wanna taste of the end stuff. When stacks got the facts, you don't hear nothing false. Gotta know your next move when you speak to a boss. Gotta respect the dead when you speak on the law. Everybody wanna taste of this end stuff. When stacks got the facts, you don't hear nothing false. Throw them all on the boat, start shipping them off. E&E, nigga fluidity, ripping them off. Find them in the West Wing, start ripping them off. Let stacks hold them up while I finish them off. I'm so all shit, man, I'm sick by the fall. That ocean six that Bellagio vault. Man, we killing everything like a British assault. Then they sticking these kids with an illest of balls. Always taking tabs is full, filled with jealousy. Another beat murder, they charging me with accessory. Rough cook, got the ingredients and the recipe. Pardon me, I'm still smoking on hydrotherapy. Literally, still getting paper with the printer off. But I still don't got no work, that's the winter call. So fuck y'all, get a permanent flip off. Don't speak to me for less than 250, that's the rip off. The next move when you speak to a boss. Gotta respect the dead when you speak on the law. Everybody wanna taste of this easy sauce. When stacks got your next move so you speak for the boss. Gotta respect the dead when you speak on the law. Everybody wanna taste of this evil sauce. Respect that the facts you don't hear of the false.
Diving through